Part 95. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 941. You. Don't go too far. I am the princess of the Qinghua Empire. Qing Li's face turned livid. If you touch me, aren't you afraid of the Qinghua Empire's revenge? Ha 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 ha. Miss Qing Li, you are so childish. Your Qinghua Empire is in such a state of decline that the princess has come to hire a mercenary group. What strength do you still have to retaliate against us? Lang Tu laughed loudly, but don't worry, if you are willing to be my wife, I can still help you restore the country for free. Shameless. Qing Li gritted his teeth and cursed. Before coming to the Blood Wolf mercenary group, she had also thought about whether this would work, but in the end, thinking about her country that was about to be destroyed, she had no choice but to make this move. But she didn't expect it. Lang Tu's greed is so great. Even though she was ready to take out the imperial seal, Lang Tu was still not satisfied. Ha ha ha. How about it, Miss Qing Li, do you still want to suffer some physical pain? Lang Tu waved his hand, and his men instantly surrounded Qing Li, with hungry looks on their faces. Wolf is destroyed. Go and guard the door. I don't want to be interrupted by others when I'm happy. Lang Tu commanded. After hearing his order, a skinny old man walked out of the Blood Wolf mercenary group. After the old man came out, he also walked towards the door. Finally, under the influence of some power, a strange magic circle was created at the door. Obviously, he didn't intend to let Qing Li leave. Qing Li's expression changed instantly. She is not a reckless person. She came to the Blood Wolf mercenary group alone today, so she naturally made some preparations. For these people, she didn't have much trust either. Fortunately, before coming, she prepared an energy shield to protect her body from being attacked. Now, under the call of her soul, this energy shield also appeared. Under this energy shield, she could safely watch the operations of the Blood Wolf mercenary group. Did not expect. Princess Qing Li is really well prepared. However, our Blood Wolf mercenary group has gained a lot of experience over the years. If we can't even break through a high-level protective barrier in the spiritual god realm, wouldn't it be a bit of a waste of reputation? Lang Tu took a closer look at the protective shield on Qing Li's body. Finally, he raised the corners of his mouth slightly and sneered, "Your gesture makes me even more interested in you." Finished. He roared. A giant wolf covered in blood appeared out of thin air. Attacking the protective shield on Qing Li's body, he actually planned to take action directly. Seeing this scene, Qing Li's face became a little solemn. She actually thought that a master of Lang Tu's level must have his own merits. Now, even if she uses a shield, I'm afraid it will be difficult to resist. The best way is to leave quickly. However, she didn't expect that Lang Tu had already prepared and asked Lang Mi to prepare a bloody formation. After having this thing, she felt as if her whole body was in a sea of blood. No matter what, there was no way she could escape from this. At this point, she couldn't help but be a little anxious. Hey hey. Ha ha ha. Princess Qing Li, looking at you, do you still want to run away? Doesn't this look down on our Blood Wolf mercenary group a bit? The fact that our Blood Wolf mercenary group has such a great reputation in Wanglong City is not just a boast. Lang Tu said arrogantly, I think you should take the initiative to break through the defense. Maybe I can give you a comfortable process. Otherwise, don't blame me for being rude. As he said that, Lang Tu's expression also darkened. He is a greedy and lustful person. Once, because he insulted a junior sister of the sect, he was expelled from the sect by his master. Later, I accidentally got a Blood Wolf secret book. With this tip, he practiced the secret art of Blood Wolf. Therefore, he also became a powerful Kangshen realm master and formed the Blood Wolf mercenary group. In recent years, relying on the reputation and strength of the Blood Wolf mercenary group, he has quite a reputation in the Mingzhou domain of Wanglong City. Today, I saw the beautiful jade in front of me and the beauty beside me. A desire to taint the latter arose in his heart, and then he suddenly decided to do something to Qingli. Even though his behavior is despised in the mercenary world. However, for so many years, he has never regarded reputation as so important. No one needs to say more. He himself planned to take the initiative and target Qingli. As for helping the Qinghua Empire recover, he wasn't that unwilling to do it. After sleeping with Qingli, he casually led the Blood Wolf group to destroy the Zhao family and the Mu family. Use Qingli to threaten Qing Cheng. Doesn't the royal position of the Qinghua Empire belong to him? This couldn't be simpler. However, now looking at the beautiful woman Qingli in front of him, he still had a lustful expression on his face. Princess Qingli, tell me, if you are willing to follow me, I will definitely help you restore the empire. Lang Tu said with a smile, when the time comes, let your father step down from the throne. I will be the emperor and you will be the queen. Wouldn't it be wonderful? Hearing these shameless words, Qingli's face was also filled with anger. She wished she could take action now and kill this shameless man directly. But unfortunately, she is currently in the spiritual god realm. Facing someone like Shang Langtu who is in the blue god realm, she has no power to resist. Even, it can be said, as long as Langtu takes action against her, she can only hold on for a while with the magic weapon, waiting for the magic weapon to be broken. It seems that she can only be a lamb waiting to be slaughtered. Damn thing. I promise, if you do anything to me, someone will make you regret it. Qingli gritted his teeth. At this moment, she could only use this method. I hope Langtu can be cautious and won't do anything to her. But now, looking at the way Langtu, this spermatozoon, has her head turned upside down, it is obvious that her threat effect is limited. Damn it! Interesting. I didn't expect that this Blood Wolf mercenary group would be so unbearable. It surprises me a bit, but speaking of this shabby mercenary group, you are really sorry for your reputation. Just when Langtu was about to take action, a cold voice suddenly came from the cellar door. Subsequently, a thin young man walked in. Who? Lang Mi, is that you? The damn thing is gone at this time. But Lang Tu was furious. He couldn't help but turn around, looked at the person who walked in, and said, who are you? The person who wants your life. Xiao Xian sneered. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 942. You. What are you going to do? Lang Tu looked at Xiao Xian, but he also felt that the other party was also in the Kangshen realm. Judging from the breath, this young man's strength was not inferior to him at all. That's a little ridiculous. Now, don't you know what I want to do? Xiao Xian didn't care, didn't I tell you everything? I'm here to kill you. He said this in front of everyone in the Blood Wolf mercenary group. For a while, the people in the Blood Wolf mercenary group were also furious. After all, by their strength, working together, no matter how strong the Kangshen realm is, they will still be afraid of 3 points. Xiao Xian, a young man like him, seemed to be a one-star cultivator in the Blue God realm. That kind of people. Why are you so arrogant? Moreover, Xiao Xian now takes the initiative to come to the location of their mercenary group. Isn't this actively provoking them? If they don't respond yet, from now on, their mercenary group may not be able to gain a foothold in Wanglong City. Lang Tu understands this. Young people are very arrogant. Lang Tu sneered, if you can sign up, I can consider it as appropriate. In fact, he was somewhat afraid in his heart. In the Mingzhou territory, there are also some hermit sects, and these sects still have very strong ancient powers. If accidentally provoked, I'm afraid it's a bit difficult for him to handle. Xiaoxian. You, why are you here? When I started to hear Xiaoxian's voice, Qing Li thought he heard it wrong, but then, when he saw Xiaoxian's handsome face, only then did she realize that it was really Xiaoxian. For a moment, she was very moved. In fact, when facing the threat from Lang Tu, the first person she thought of was Xiaoxian. But she didn't expect it. Xiaoxian actually appeared, and appeared so timely. Oh, so he's from the Qinghua Empire. Hear the conversation between Xiaoxian and Qing Li. On the contrary, Lang Tu's face became more relaxed. Qinghua Empire? This existence is going to destroy even his own royal family. Why can I speak so brazenly here? That being the case, don't blame him for being rude. Thinking of this, the corner of Lang Tu's mouth became more sarcastic. Humph, look at your appearance, do you still have a bit of love for a concubine? It's a pity that you don't have the ability to survive. Shameless talk. Then let's see if you have what it takes to kill me. Xiaoxian also sneered. He originally thought that if the Blood Wolf mercenary group was obedient, it wouldn't be impossible to take advantage of them. But now, since these guys are so shameless, then don't blame him for being rude. Court death. Then let's see if you have this ability. After Xiaoxian finished speaking, the serious sword in his hand turned into a stream of light and shot toward Lang Tu's face. Under great power. Some members of the Blood Wolf group were also secretly surprised. A one-star cultivator in the Blue God realm. Over the years, they have killed countless people in the Blue God realm, just one star of the Blue God realm. For them, it's just a matter of one knife. Even an ordinary member of the Blood Wolf group can win the battle. Dare to challenge Lang Tu? Isn't this life boring? Ha ha ha. I have never seen such a crazy one-star cultivator of the Blue God realm in all these years. Seeing Xiaoxian's unruly look. Instead, Lang Tu laughed, in that case, today, I will let you watch the woman you like being played by me, and you can't do anything about it. Finished. Some heavy wolf howls actually erupted from Lang Tu's body. At the same time, the temperature in the small cellar dropped sharply, and a bloody smell appeared out of thin air. It was as if the cellar had become a werewolf slaughterhouse. Feel the changes in your surroundings. Xiaoxian also frowned slightly. He could feel that under this bloody power, the strength of this Lang Tu was far stronger than Wang Ao Bai Sheng. Under such power, I'm afraid, even if Kang Long comes, he will suffer a loss. Some tricks. As expected of the leader of the Blood Wolf regiment. Xiaoxian nodded and said, however, it is a bit ridiculous to try to defeat me with these illusory things. While talking, the power of the soul in him was released. In an instant, the bloody and cold breath was blocked, leaving both him and Qing Li in peace. Not affected by the outside world at all. Under these powers, there was no fear at all on Xiaoxian's face, but a bit of sarcasm and ridicule. He can tell. Lang Tu's move is nothing more than moving his soul to forcibly change the surrounding environment and create fear in his opponent's heart. Such a move. For some people who are not mentally strong enough, it may have good results. However, for a practitioner like Xiaoxian, who has strong soul power and rich combat experience, it is not enough. We can even say, these tricks of his were completely inadequate in front of Xiaoxian. The powerful power of the soul is released. A huge protective shield was created around Xiaoxian and Qing Li. No matter how the blood wolves roared outside or how biting the cold wind was, there was nothing they could do to them. This scene It also made Lang Tu look a little more surprised. You must know that his move of Wind Wolf Snow territory is extremely powerful. Over the years, he has killed countless powerful people in the Blue God realm. Just fall into it. Even if he is not bitten to death by the Blood Wolf, he will be choked by the cold wind and Blood Wolf inside, and his soul will be frightened. Next. Want to deal with such people? Naturally it is much simpler. But now, looking at Xiao Xian's appearance, he was not affected by his Wind Wolf Snow domain at all. In fact, Lang Tu felt that Xiao Xian's soul power was no weaker than his. His spiritual realm has reached the real state. Although it is only the beginning of reality. But at the beginning level of the Kang God realm, or even the intermediate level of the Kang God realm, this level is amazing. Who knows now? He felt that even his soul power was suppressed by Xiao Xian. This is something he cannot accept. Some power. However, just because the soul is strong, it does not mean that your Tao power can also be strong. Lang Tu roared angrily, and a silver iron rod appeared in his hand, jumped up high, and hit Xiao Xian directly on the head. Angry at Lang Tu's embarrassment, Xiao Xian didn't take it to heart at all. With the serious sword swung, pure Yangwuji sword technique was also slowly displayed. The golden sword light and shadow were like flying flowers all over the sky, making it impossible for Lang Tu to find Xiao Xian's specific location. Even, in the shadow of these swords, Lang Tu just felt that Xiao Xian's shadow seemed to be everywhere around his body. All it takes is one accident. Will he be hurt by the serious sword? What a terrifying swordsmanship! When Lang Mi saw Lang Tu and Xiao Xian fighting from the side, a chill ran down his spine, and then he quickly launched the bloody formation, intending to lend a helping hand to Lang Tu. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 943. All disciples obey orders. Prepare to form a bloody formation and strangle this person. Lang Mi said in a deep voice. The faces of the members of the Blood Wolf mercenary group instantly became serious, as if they were facing a formidable enemy. They are all desperados licking blood on the tip of a knife. These years, they followed the wolf on the road and killed countless cultivators and civilians. There are countless enemies and countless enemies. You never know when your life may be in danger. Perhaps, in the outside world, they are all unruly and murderous practitioners. But now, in the face of life and death crisis, they still understand that sometimes, face is far less important than their own lives. Just like now. Even a strong man like Lang Tu Lang Mi paid so much attention to Xiao Xian. He even didn't hesitate to use a bloody formation to fight against Xiao Xian. In this regard, ordinary people really didn't have this treatment. From this perspective, it is also enough to prove that Xiao Xian does have some unusual power. Interesting. This Xiao Xian is so powerful. You actually need to use the bloody formation to suppress it? It's unbelievable. I heard that these powers are a bit unusual. Could it be said that Brother Lang Tu can't defeat this guy? It looks like he's from the Qinghua Empire? There shouldn't be anything special about it, right? How could there be such a strong person in the Qinghua Empire? Everyone in the Blood Wolf mercenary group had serious expressions on their faces. The bloody curtain slowly rose from the cellar. The rich smell of blood permeated the entire space. Xiao Xian frowned slightly. Only then did he realize that these bloody auras were not carried by these mercenary groups, but were originally present in the cellar. The cellar was originally cold and damp. At this moment, it became like a bloody and terrifying training ground. Some of Xiao Xian can feel it. The bloody aura is actually the bloody aura of the cultivators. From this, he could feel that the cellar was the burial place of some cultivators. Ha ha ha. Looking at you, it seems like you know some secrets about the cellar. However, I want to tell you, even if you know this, you must die here today. Lang Tu looked at Xiaoxian, his face full of sinisterness. Hear these words. Xiaoxian was so cold that he didn't take these words to heart at all. However, during the battle, he could still feel that the pressure on him from the opposite side, Lang Tu, was gradually increasing. It is clear. This bloody formation has greatly improved his strength. Thinking of this, Xiaoxian gradually began to pay attention to it. With pure Yangwuji swordsmanship and powerful divine soul energy, he can fight against Lang Tu, a 5-star Kang Shen realm. Not even left behind. But now, he felt that under these strong forces, the power of the soul gradually appeared. It turns out that this Lang Tu is also a person with strong spiritual power. He was not too surprised by this. After all, this Lang Tu is also the leader of the Blood Wolf mercenary group, which can become famous in the Mingzhou territory. There is no doubt about his strength. At this moment, with the help of the bloody formation, maybe it is really a trouble for him. So to say, this guy has really become a big trouble for him. Yes, your strength is not weak. However, if you think that with the help of the blood formation and other people's power, you can defeat me, you are a bit naive. Xiaoxian roughly saw it. Lang Tu is now in the bloody formation, and his plan is to use the power gathered by the bloody formation to increase his combat effectiveness. If it is normal, he might not really be able to take this guy to heart. But it was different now. He was not alone. There was Qing Li beside him, so he had to plan carefully. He can withstand the erosion of the bloody formation. But King Li may not be able to endure it. Therefore, he may need to deal with the bloody formation now. His eyes turned. Finally, Xiaoxian set his sights on Lang Mi. He could tell. The bloody formation seemed to contain endless bloody power, which surprised him secretly. One person can actually play with the bloody energy to such an extent. This is enough to explain. There is still some way to kill the wolf. Since you like to play tricks, then I'll show you what the real method is. Xiaoxian didn't give Lang Mi much chance to show off. The heavenly wolf sword in his hand was like a goddess scattering flowers, flying directly towards him. See this scene. Lang Mi was also shocked. He is also a strong man in the Kangshen realm. After many years of fighting with Lang Tu, I have also seen some masters who are 3-star or even 5-star in the Blue God realm. But he found out. As for Xiaoxian's current method, he is actually no weaker than a 5-star cultivator in the Blue God realm. Regarding this, he still had a bit of shock on his face, and he quickly circulated the blood energy of the members, condensing a large bloody shield in front of him. The large blood-colored shield is filled with a rich blood-colored aura. Ordinary people face such power. Perhaps their first reaction was to give up the attack. After all, since you have seen the strength of your opponent's defense, there is no need to attack head-on. But the person Lang Mi faced at this moment was Xiaoxian. Ever since Xiaoxian embarked on the path of cultivation, in his heart, he didn't know what retreat was. At this moment, he possesses pure Yangwuji sword Dao and ancient tree Dao Yun. These means add up. Just wipe out the wolves. Why should I be his opponent? For a moment, Xiaoxian also had a bit of contempt on his face. A flash of sword light went straight towards Lang Mi's neck. How presumptuous! Lang Mi was also angry in his heart. After all, he was also a strong man at the level of the Kang God realm. In terms of realm, he was even better than Xiaoxian, who was 1-star in the Kang God realm. Logically speaking, he should have taken action and suppressed Xiaoxian casually. But now, Xiaoxian suppressed their entire Blood Wolf mercenary group with a long sword? Even he could only hide in defense. Relying on the power of the bloody formation, he could barely maintain his life. Such a way of fighting. Isn't it too embarrassing? Think of this. Lang Mi's heart skipped a beat, and the energy of the bloody shield in his hand surged, and black barbs actually grew out of it. At the same time, his figure did not retreat but advanced. He took the initiative to bump into Xiao Xian. He actually planned to use the energy of the bloody shield to fight Xiao Xian head-on. Seeing this scene, Lang Tu was quite surprised and quickly stepped forward to help, because he knew that Xiao Xian's strength was definitely not that weak. Moreover, Xiao Xian also has a power that he cannot fathom. This is why they are so passive. Seeing Lang Mi taking the initiative to attack, he felt something was wrong from the bottom of his heart, but for a while he didn't know what was wrong. I can only bite the bullet and step forward to help. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 944. Seeing Lang Tu and Lang Mi take the initiative to greet them, Xiao Xian smiled instead. What he wants is this result. When he fought with Lang Tu just now, he also figured out some problems. He found that there were people like the Blood Wolf mercenary group. All have a strange bloody smell. After having this bloody aura, it seems that there is something different about the whole person. At first, Xiao Xian thought it was because they killed too many people. Later, it was discovered that this was not the case. There seemed to be something else going on in the cellar, as if this place was a place specially set up for large formations. And their deputy leader Lang Mi. It's the center of the formation. Under the flash of sword light. The next second, it penetrated directly between Lang Mi's eyebrows, directly killing his soul. This time, the members of the Blood Wolf group present were all shocked, and they all looked at the slowly falling Lang Mi in disbelief. To know, Lang Mi is their deputy leader. The abbot of the bloody formation had just used the strongest defensive shield of the bloody formation. But, even so, Lang Mi was still killed by Xiao Xian Mi? This is indeed a bit hard for them to believe. Humph. What a bloody formation, they are nothing more than chickens and dogs. Xiao Xian clapped his hands and said calmly, looking at you, you don't seem to be that strong, right? See this. Lang Tu's face instantly turned pale with anger. However, watching the deputy leader of his mercenary group fall to the ground, he didn't know what to say. The strength of Deputy Captain Lang Mi. He still knows. However, he never expected that Lang Mi would be killed by Xiao Xian so easily. When he fought before, it also tested Xiao Xian's strength. In his opinion, Xiao Xian's strength is only a second star in the Blue God realm, and there may be some secret techniques that may enhance his combat effectiveness. But even so, he also didn't expect that his combat power could be improved so high. Killing the 3-star Wolf Mi in the Kengshen realm instantly with one move. Such strength should be at least around 7 or 8 stars in the Blue God realm. How did Xiao Xian do it? Could it be that? Can Xiao Xian's strength improve so quickly just by relying on secret techniques? He couldn't believe it at all. What do you mean? Don't you think, you still have to kill us all? Lang Tu felt a little guilty. If Xiao Xian's strength really reaches the 7 stars of the Blue God realm, then it will be very simple to kill them. Just now, he wasn't sure what Xiao Xian was going to do. It's easy to kill you. However, God has good intentions for life, and I don't want to kill anyone. Xiao Xian shook his head, I want you to do something. I wonder if you are willing to do it? Say it. All the mercenaries of the Blood Wolf mercenary group present hesitated. Although Xiao Xian didn't say it, they could roughly tell that what Xiao Xian said was probably to help the Qinghua Empire recover. Logically speaking, since Xiao Xian already has the strength of 7 or 8 stars in the Blue God realm, wouldn't it be easy to restore the country? Why should they take action? Isn't this unnecessary? For a while, they were also a little confused. Lang Tu, what are you going to do? Xiao Xian asked directly, either help the Qinghua Empire recover, or we will all die here. You. Xiao Xian, don't threaten me. You know, there are thousands of strong people in the world. Today we were defeated at your hands, but we are not just people who are killed casually. Lang Tu's face was uncertain. He has been in the world for so many years, and in the territory of Mingzhou territory, even people like Kang Long and old man Xianming have to give him some face. Did not expect. In the end, the boat capsized in the ditch and fell in front of Xiao Xian. That means you are unwilling to cooperate. Then, who am I going to kill next? Xiao Xian said lazily, the sword light in his hand flashed, as if he was looking for a target in his mercenary group. This time, the people in the Blood Wolf mercenary group were a little nervous. One by one, they huddled up to avoid the sword light in Xiao Xian's hand. They were afraid that the sword light would fall on them, take away their lives. Xiao Xian himself, on the other hand, looked at these people with a smile on his face, as if he was teasing a group of clowns. Enough. Xiao Xian, what on earth do you want? Lang Tu is also considered the number one person. Seeing Xiao Xian's actions, he was furious, and at the same time, seeing the ugly appearance of his team members, his face also felt burning pain. It was like being slapped by Xiao Xian. As the leader of the mercenary group, he is also a person who cares about face. Seeing his members being teased like this, he can no longer lose face. It's very simple. What you need to do is to use your strength to prove that you can be honest and obedient. Xiao Xian said directly. Xiao Xian nodded, then, let's sign a soul contract. He roughly guessed what Xiao Xian meant. Xiao Xian didn't kill him not because of kindness. He also felt a shock now. Let them serve as white gloves for doing something. For a moment, he didn't dare to say anything more, and quickly concentrated his energy, and then reluctantly resisted the oppression of Xiao Xian's soul. At last. For this. The sword light on Xiao Xian's fingertips flashed and he pointed at Lang Tu's eyebrows. If he disagreed, he would kill him. All these years. Willing to surrender. Lang Tu plopped and knelt on the ground. Perhaps, in the eyes of others, this question is difficult to understand, but as the leader of the mercenary group, he knows the meaning. I'm very happy that you have this idea. I don't have that much patience. What Xiao Xian did just now was actually to control him. Assassination, kidnapping, poisoning, arson. Most of them are bad things that don't make it to the table. Lang Tu also understood that he was definitely no match for Xiao Xian now. Lang Tu felt as if his soul was under threat. Till death. Lang Tu understood. Looking at Xiao Xian's cold eyes. On the contrary, I just want to borrow their power. Speaking of which, as the leader of the mercenary group, if you haven't thought about it yet, good. Many times it is not for the purpose of doing the thing itself, but for the purpose of framing and provoking trouble. Lang Tu's face was also a little uncertain. Lang Tu has helped many people and done many things. He was not even worthy of being an enemy of Xiao Xian. These things. He understood that if he agreed to Xiao Xian, it would mean that he must obey Xiao Xian's orders unconditionally. Therefore, he who knows the current affairs is a hero. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 945. Soul Contract. Soul Contract. Hearing Xiao Xian's words, the faces of everyone in the Blood Wolf mercenary group suddenly turned deathly gray. They had heard about this magical contract. It is said that the person who releases the contract will plant a divine soul seed in the latter's divine palace. If the person to whom the contract is planted goes against the will of the person who planted the contract, the former can kill them at any time. Even if the person who made the contract kills the person who made the contract cannot be eliminated, but will cause them to die directly. Therefore, if they were planted with the soul contract by Xiaoxian, they are equivalent to becoming Xiaoxian slaves, and they will never be able to turn around for the rest of their lives. Xiaoxian, are you too cruel? Lang Tu gritted his teeth. Aren't you afraid that we will fight you to the death? If you die early, you should be obedient. I believe you will make the right choice. Xiaoxian smiled slightly, not caring about Lang Tu's threat at all. If we say just now. He was still a little skeptical. Now, his doubts have completely disappeared. He could tell that this Lang Tu was fierce and rough on the surface, but in fact, he was also a fierce-looking guy with a soft heart. His life is at stake now. He will definitely be obedient. As for whether he will make other choices later, it depends on whether he is smart or not. Certainly. If this guy is honest and obedient, Xiaoxian may not necessarily kill him. Good. In that case, just plant it. After a while, under the eyes of everyone, Lang Tu still lowered his head. Seeing this, Xiaoxian smiled slightly. His goal was achieved. In fact, when he first saw Lang Tu bullying Qing Li, he originally planned to kill him with a sword. But after seeing the bloody formation, he felt different. He felt that this wolf path still had value. If you can become his subordinate, he will definitely be a very useful sword to deal with the Zhao family and the Mu family. From a certain perspective, just a notorious mercenary like Lang Tu. No matter what they do, no one will be surprised. If they take the initiative to attack the Zhao family and the Mu family, the final effect will definitely be better than if he comes alone. And using Wolf 2 to come forward will also make it easier for the two forces behind them to come forward. But now, for Lang Tu, who is full of grievances, Xiaoxian still needs to think of a good way. Soothe his mood. Present. Xiaoxian's soul was released, one link was connected to Lang Tu Divine Mansion, and the other was connected to his Divine Mansion. After silently reciting a spell, the soul contract has been signed. After that, he took out a red disc from the space magic weapon and said, "This is a magic weapon used to purify blood. Seeing that your cultivation path is related to blood, maybe this can help you." Is this for me? Lang Tu was stunned. Otherwise. Thank you, Xiaoxian. No, thank you, brother Xiao. Lang Tu quickly knelt down on the ground. Kowtow in gratitude. Actually, it's not surprising that he was so excited. Over the years, he has committed murder without calculation and has a bad reputation. All he cares about is robbery and plunder. Where could anyone take the initiative to give him a spiritual weapon? Moreover, after being implanted with the soul contract, he also understood that he would never be able to go against Xiaoxian again in the future. Otherwise it is a dead end. It can be said. Now even if Xiaoxian asks him to die immediately, there was nothing he could do to disobey. However, what he never expected was that Xiaoxian would actually give him a spiritual weapon now. You can use this spiritual weapon, and your team members can also use it. Although the power in the blood increases quickly, it will inevitably be invaded by the violent factors in the blood. If the Divine Palace is damaged, your future cultivation path will stop here. Xiaoxian said slowly, holding the heavy magic weapon in his hand. Lang Tu's eyes were a bit confused, but he still kowtowed to Xiaoxian to thank him. It doesn't have to be like this. You are still responsible for leading the Blood Wolf mercenary group, but you are not allowed to commit crimes or kill people at will in the future. Xiaoxian warned. Yes. I will definitely listen to your teachings and never do bad things again. Lang Tu quickly assured. Hearing this, Xiao Xian nodded with satisfaction. Zhao family, Mu family, I don't want them to still exist in 3 days. After saying that, he took Qing Li and left. On the way back to Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, Qing Li was in a state of shock. She looked at Xiao Xian, her eyes full of shock and surprise. She couldn't believe it. Xiao Xian could actually have such great abilities. After committing several murders, even the city lord's palace in Wanglong City had no choice but to do anything to them. She had asked about it before. Now, he was subdued by Xiao Xian so calmly. She could feel that it seemed that Xiao Xian really had some secrets. Before Xiao Xian participated in the baptism of Tianyan, he was still in the ordinary spiritual god realm. Why could his strength grow so fast? When returning to Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, let them get away with it. But Qing Liming clearly remembers it. It should be able to be eliminated. Send out a person with 7 or 8 stars in the blue god realm. SHH, wait until we get back to Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. But the problem is, Xiao Xian has just become the blue god realm, that is, a 1-star blue god realm. He took the initiative to find the Blood Wolf mercenary group. Even the soul contract was signed on his own initiative. The leader of the Blood Wolf mercenary group is a 5-star blue god realm, and there is no need for a strong man in the golden body realm to take action. If you are not a strong person with 7 or 8 stars in the blue god realm, you will definitely not be able to do it. At least Saria would never be able to do it. There are even rumors among the people that no one can control the Blood Wolf mercenary group except for the strong men in the golden god realm. There is no possibility of the strength growing so fast, right? Long Ruoxiu had been waiting in the guest room for a long time. When she saw Xiao Xian and Qing Li return safely, she breathed a sigh of relief. This mercenary group is really famous. Even if Xiao Xian is extremely talented. Actually, recently, can the entire Blood Wolf mercenary group surrender with just one move? Even let Zhang kill Lang Mi and let a strong man like Lang Tu take the initiative to sign a soul contract? Such a person is unruly and unruly. He kills countless evil people in ordinary times, and his heart is already as steely. Lang Tu was a 5-star master in the blue god realm. Seeing that Qing Li was about to ask a question, Xiao Xian interrupted him directly, I will tell you completely when I get back. Xiao Xian, you. She had always been a little worried, not because she didn't trust Xiao Xian, but because as an intelligence family, Long Ruoxiu knew too much about the Snow Wolf mercenary group. Xiao Xian went to find the Blood Wolf mercenary group alone. Isn't this just seeking death? Of course these are just rumors. What's going on here? This method. Qing Li could only nod. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 946. How is it going? You don't have any hands. That's great. Then we can leave the city. Long Ruoxiu looked surprised. However, after seeing the calm faces of Qing Li and Xiao Xian, they became a little confused. How is this going? Could it be that they encountered some variables? Think of this. Long Ruoxiu's face became serious again and asked, did something happen? What's wrong with you? Say it. Xiao Xian and Qing Li smiled instead. Don't worry, the Blood Wolf mercenary group has been conquered by Xiao Xian, the wolf has been killed, and the soul contract has been planted on the wolf path. Qing Li told Long Ruoxiu what happened in the cellar. Hear these accounts. Long Ruoxiu was shocked beyond measure. She simply couldn't believe her ears. Conquer the Blood Wolf mercenary group. Even the city lord's palace in Wanglong City can't guarantee that it can do this kind of thing. Why can Xiao Xian do it? Is this true? Or is it just Jing Li joking? But Long Ruoxiu soon shook her head and denied the idea. This matter was related to the restoration of the Qinghua Empire. How could Qing Li be joking? So that means it's true? For a while, Long Ruoxiu and Qing Li stared at Xiao Xian closely with their big eyes, full of doubts and questions. Apparently everyone was listening quietly to Xiao Xian's next explanation. Is this, I said it was luck, but you might not believe it. Xiao Xian was a little embarrassed. In fact, when he killed Lang Mi with one sword, he really had some tricks up his sleeve. At that time, I was comprehending the swordsmanship of Gong Sunhea. He understood a ray of sword energy from it. All the time. He has stored this wisp of sword energy in the Sea of Qi. It wasn't until he reached the Kangshen realm that he discovered that this wisp of sword energy could actually be controlled by him. Speaking of which, it's time to kill the wolf. This was the first time he used sword energy to kill someone. Did not expect such a good effect for the first time. This is a good thing for him, if he can condense such sword energy in the future. From now on, there will be more ways for him to fight against anyone. But more importantly, after using the sword energy, he could feel that some powers were not that simple. It is not easy to truly control the power of sword energy. Say it. What is going on? I don't believe that this is all luck, and it can't be luck. Long Ruoxiu urged anxiously, you are already at this time, do you still want to show off to us? Qing Li also looked at Xiao Xian curiously. Obviously, he is also quite curious about this matter. Actually, I once received a treasure given by a master of swordsmanship, and there was a sword energy in the treasure. I relied on this sword energy to kill Lang Mi. You think, isn't this just luck? Xiao Xian explained. Hear this explanation. Long Ruoxiu and Qing Li also opened their eyes wide at the same time, looking at Xiao Xian in disbelief. Treasure inheritance. Kendo legacy. Explore treasures. Isn't this kind of thing usually something in legends and stories? How come it still exists in reality now? And let Xiao Xian get these inheritances? How can this not make people envious and jealous? To know. Xiao Xian was originally gifted and talented, but now that he has such good luck, does this allow other ordinary disciples to survive? Isn't this just adding more power to a tiger? What you said is true. Long Ruoxiu couldn't believe it. But after thinking about it for a while, she also had to admit. As a cultivator who had just been promoted to the Blue God realm, Xiao Xian could kill Lang Mi with one sword. This seemed to be the only possibility. Certainly. It's already this time, why do I need to lie to you? Xiao Xian looked like he was giving an honest explanation. After hearing what he said, even if Long Ruoxiu and Qing Li didn't want to believe it, they couldn't say any more. After calming down for a while, Long Ruoxiu looked at Qing Li and said, if this is the case, it would be no problem for the Blood Wolf mercenary group to destroy the Zhao family and the Mu family, but what if the real enemies of your Qinghua Empire are involved? Ask this question. The faces of the people present also became more solemn. They had all judged that the Zhao family and the Mu family were attacking the Qinghua Empire at the same time. It was obvious that someone must be instigating them behind the scenes. They either received great benefits. Either that or being coerced. But no matter what the situation is, it shows that there are still more powerful people behind them. Just rely on this. They must prepare in advance so that they can deal with the real enemy of the Qinghua Empire. It seems that things are really not that simple. Xiao Xian said, but you can rest assured. If it doesn't work, I can go to the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce for help. Speaking of which, Long Ruoxiu and Qing Li also had to admit it. Without knowing who the enemy was, Xiao Xian could only choose to take one step at a time. Thank you, Xiao Xian. After the Blood Wolf mercenary group did this, Why didn't they come to him to pass on the national jade seal? The Zhao family and the Mu family were destroyed at the same time, but the Blood Wolf mercenary group's methods were very fast and ruthless. After the destruction of these two families, Xiao Xian said, "They know that these two rebel families have been wiped out, and no one will dare to rebel again in a short time. In the end, it brought her such great benefits. We'll see what happens in 3 days." Okay. Within the royal family of the Qinghua Empire, Qing Cheng was very happy. "There's no need to be polite between you and me. I asked Zhang Fulong to arrange 2 rooms for you. It was a piece of cake at the time. It was destroyed. The situation is not what they thought. In fact, when she was in the Kanglong Empire, she really didn't think too much about it. She just thought Xiao Xian was pitiful, so she helped him. It's just that he's a little curious. After all." At the same time, most of the discussion was within the Qinghua Empire, and they all wanted to see how the Qinghua Empire would handle this matter this time. Did not expect. Could it be that they could just watch the families in their empire be destroyed? "You guys go and rest first. Actually, at this moment, it's not impossible." Qing Li was naturally moved inside. "But the strange thing is," Xiao Xian said directly, "you helped me a lot when I was in the Kanglong Empire. It is only natural that I help you do this. Don't worry, I will keep this in mind." The following few days, their family head was once a minister of the Qinghua Empire, but now he was destroyed for no apparent reason. The Zhao family and the Mu family are both big families in the Mingzhou domain. Naturally, it aroused a lot of suspicion. Qing Li stood up and thanked him seriously. It can be said that if Xiao Xian had not taken action now, she and even the Qinghua Empire behind her would have faced great threats. There was no follow-up, but it caused quite a disturbance in Wanglong City. "Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors." Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 947. A few days later, Xiao Xian is practicing the Divine Soul technique quietly in his guest room. However, he was interrupted by Zhang Fulong, who took the initiative to visit. "Brother Xiao Xian is so spirited. It seems that Brother Xiao Xian's soul power has reached the real state, right?" Zhang Fulong said with envy. A lucky break. Xiao Xian was not surprised to see Zhang Fulong visiting. He knew that he had lived in Wanjin Chamber of Commerce for such a long time. There are some things that need to be addressed. I just don't know what Zhang Fulong is. Amazing. I heard that Brother Xiao Xian has just broken through to the Kangshen realm, and it is really rare to achieve such an achievement. Zhang Fulong still praised him. To these words, Xiao Xian only responded politely, nothing more. He could roughly guess that Zhang Fulong's sudden visit must be because Wanjin Chamber of Commerce needed him for something. Simply, it was just acknowledging it. I want to hear what Zhang Fulong wants him to do. As expected. Soon, Zhang Fulong brought the topic to Wanglong City's recent resource development and sect fighting. It turns out that a purple spirit mine recently appeared near Wanglong City. For this spiritual mine, in Wanglong City, some sects have shown great interest and want to get a share of the pie. But according to the rules, within the boundaries of Wanglong City, the treasures of spiritual minerals and medicinal herbs and weapons that appear must be handed over to the main palace of Wanglong City for unified distribution. This will avoid disputes as much as possible, to avoid causing a lot of bloodshed to Wanglong City. The reason why Zhang Fulong approached Xiao Xian was also very simple. He wanted Xiao Xian to represent the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce and fight against other forces in Wanglong City. Hear this. Xiao Xian was not surprised. He knew very well that Zhang Fulong was a businessman after all. Train him specifically. I definitely hope that he can be helpful to Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. But now, listening to the meaning of these words, it seems that he is required to come forward to fight against the candidates from other sects competing for the spiritual mine in Wanglong City. For this, there was still a bit of curiosity on his face. In fact, it was not surprising that Zhang Fulong sent him to fight, but he was only at the beginning of the Blue God realm now. In the Kangshen realm, definitely not a very strong person. It was somewhat strange to send him into battle. Is it possible that Zhang Fulong trusts him so much? Or, what advantages does he have? Why me? Xiaoxian was straightforward. I heard that brother Xiaoxian, your soul power has reached the middle level of reality, so I think you are the best choice. Zhang Fulong did not hide it. I will only think of you this time. I see. Xiaoxian nodded secretly. He understood Zhang Fulong's direct notification very well. Zhang Fulong was originally a businessman. If he could think of him at this time, he must be in need. It's pretty good to be able to tell him the real situation now. This time, the Purple Spirit Mine is very important. In Wanglong City, in addition to the City Lord's Mansion, our Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, and your old rival Qinglei Palace are also involved. Zhang Fulong said, our three companies are considered the three strongest ones and the three most competitive ones. After hearing this, Xiaoxian frowned slightly. He did not expect that Qinglei Palace still existed in Wanglong City. Xiaoxian was not surprised by these powers. After all, Qinglei Palace was a subordinate sect of Qinglei Palace. Such a sect is naturally powerful. It is normal to have a place in Wanglong City. But what makes him more curious is how strong the Qinglei Palace is in a place like Wanglong City. Does it have the same dominance as in the Mingzhou territory? If there is, he will pay more attention to Qinglei Palace. Brother Fulong, I wonder how strong this Qinglei Palace is. In Wanglong City, can't Wanjin Chamber of Commerce deal with Qinglei Palace at will? Xiaoxian said directly, as far as I know, your Wanjin Chamber of Commerce's business is quite famous in the Eastern Barren Continent. You should not be afraid of Qinglei Palace. After hearing this, Zhang Fulong also nodded one after another. What brother Xiaoxian said is absolutely true. In Wanglong City, our Wanjin Chamber of Commerce still has a place, but, although the Qinglei Palace is not something to be afraid of, the one standing behind it is the Qinglei Palace, which makes us a little helpless. Zhang Fulong was a little embarrassed. Qinglei Palace is the largest sect on the eastern wilderness continent. Even our Wanjin Chamber of Commerce has no way to deal with it. After hearing this, Xiaoxian nodded repeatedly. He had long heard of the reputation of Qinglei Palace. Qinglei Palace, Juxing Pavilion, Chixia Temple. These three are considered to be the top sects on the eastern wilderness continent, and Qinglei Palace is a subordinate force of Qinglei Palace. It's nice to lean against a big tree to enjoy the shade. Even though his strength is not at the top of the eastern wilderness continent. However, if you look down on this sect, you will probably be targeted by Qinglei Palace in the end. For this, the sects on the eastern barren continent all know that, except for the powerful Juxing Pavilion and Chixia Temple, they will basically not have any major conflicts with Qinglei Temple. On that note, Qinglei Palace can often easily get the resources it wants without paying too much. So to say, the competition I participated in is to determine the ownership of the Purple Spirit Mine, right? Xiaoxian roughly guessed what Zhang Fulong meant. After hearing this, Zhang Fulong also nodded one after another. Yes, brother Xiaoxian, this competition is a best-of-3 game. In addition to you, there are 2 sect disciples from our Wanjin Chamber of Commerce going together. How about you meet tomorrow? No problem. Since it is the time of the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, it is also my business, and Xiaoxian is obligated to do so. Xiaoxian said seriously. Zhang Fulong was also very satisfied with this response. After agreeing on a time, he turned around and left. In fact, what Xiaoxian didn't know was, In the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, in addition to Zhang Long, the real young master, there are also some elders who worship the Chamber of Commerce. These years, as Zhang Long's father Zhang Tishan grows old, the heavy burden of Wanjin Chamber of Commerce has gradually been transferred to Zhang Long and a group of elders. For a young master like Zhang Long, those elders who have experienced great storms and storms may not necessarily take it seriously. Instead, they all tried to seize the power of Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. However, he secretly cultivated his own power within the Chamber of Commerce. So now Zhang Long also has a headache. On the one hand, we have to care about various external affairs of the Chamber of Commerce, on the other hand, we have to deal with the encroachment of the elders within the family. Therefore, he also began to look for talented people like Xiaoxian. Hope to rely on the strength of Xiaoxian and others. Make his position in the family more stable. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 948. Return to the room. After a tiring day, Zhang Long also felt tired. Just getting ready to sleep in bed. The door was knocked by a rapid sound. Who, even though he was very tired, Zhang Long managed to cheer up and said, "Come in and talk." "Young master, it's me." The servant who came in was named Ding. He is Zhang Long's confidant within the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. He grew up with him and served him in daily life. I will also inquire about some internal information of Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. After seeing Erding, Zhang Long also had a solemn look on his face. He knew that Ding was a person with a steady personality. Generally, if there was nothing important enough, he would not take the initiative to find him. What happened? Have you heard about the candidates for this Purple Spirit Mine competition? Seeing Ding, Zhang Long also had a solemn look on his face. In the past 2 days, he had been asking Ding to inquire about the actions of other elders within the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. At this time, it is the critical time for Wanjin Chamber of Commerce to compete for the Purple Spirit Mine. Zhang Long can guess it. The elders of Wanjin Chamber of Commerce will definitely not give up the opportunity and purpose of this competition easily. Therefore, they will definitely not give up. They found senior brother Lin Xiao and senior sister Qing Lingyuan. Ding said with a bitter look on his face, "This time, they said they must beat you, young master, to compete for the position of head of the Chamber of Commerce." Damn it! Lin Xiao and Qing Lingyuan are both masters of 3 stars in the Blue God realm. How could they be recruited? Zhang Long was surprised. At the same time, he also felt something bad in his heart. This time for the competition for the Purple Chi Spirit Mine, the qualifications set by the 3 sects for participating disciples were below 3 stars in the Blue God realm. This is a rather demanding qualification. Kangshen realm. In Wanglong City, there are not many cultivators in this realm, but there are definitely a lot. But he happened to be in the Blue God realm 3 stars. There may not be that many practitioners who are still willing to participate in this kind of competition. Lin Xiao and Qing Lingyuan were both in Wanglong City. The elders of the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce can recruit the relatively famous 3-star experts in the Kangshen realm. But it also shows that they must have put a lot of thought into it. Damn it! It seems that they really want to overwhelm me with the Purple Spirit Mine. How could Zhang Long not understand? The elders of the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce put great effort into selecting Lin Xiao and Qing Lingyuan, weren't they just to target him on this matter? If it is normal. He stopped paying attention. But now that things have reached this point, he has to wonder what these guys want to do. From a certain perspective, the internal power of Wanjin Chamber of Commerce is quite clear. One part is the young master's lineage headed by Zhang Long, and the people who support this lineage are basically his newly recruited members. The other part is the old people headed by Long Quan, and the people who support this line are basically the old people of Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. Young master, who is the contestant you have chosen this time? Ding asked. Xiaoxian, a genius I met in Qinghua Academy. Zhang Fulong nodded. Qinghua Academy. Still a student. Ding heard this. He was also a little curious and doubtful in his heart. Qinghua College may be somewhat famous in Mingzhou territory, but if it is a branch dean or dean facing a genius like Lin Xiaoqing and Ling Yun, maybe there is still the strength to fight. Now, he is just a student. When he comes here, he may not have such a strong intimidating effect. This is basically certain. Zhang Fulong just found a student from Qinghua Academy. Can this student defeat the trialists from the City Lord's Mansion and Qinglei Palace? If he loses, it's not just the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce that has lost its reputation. Even Zhang Fulong will greatly reduce his prestige. At this moment, we can only treat the dead horse as a live doctor. Zhang Fulong saw what Ding was thinking and simply continued, besides, the competition for the Purple Chi Spirit Mine is about to begin, and there is no time to reselect people. The words have been spoken. Neither the master nor the servant looked very relaxed. They all know that Xiaoxian's fight on behalf of the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce is not just about fighting for the Purple Spirit Mine. More importantly, it represents Zhang Fulong's face. If he fails, for Zhang Fulong, it must be bad news. Did not expect. Things have come to this. If the Xiaoxian you chose can't defeat others, I'm afraid it will be troublesome in the end. Chuji couldn't help but said. For this sentence. In fact, Zhang Fulong also knew very well that this was not Ding Er's deliberate words to make him angry. On the contrary, this is an extremely realistic thing. He wants to gain a foothold in Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. Apart from his status as a young master, he doesn't have many advantages. From this point of view, he still needs to accumulate some capital for himself. The other side. Long Quan and other elders of the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce were all enjoying tea in the meeting hall. Looking at Lin Xiao and Qing Lingyun in front of them, they were very satisfied. This is a 3-star strong man from the Kengshen realm who they spent a full 200,000 Dao stones to hire. It is said that these two are still brothers and sisters. He was once a top-notch master in the sect. Both of you. I heard that you have all fought against strong men of 3 stars in the Blue God realm, right? Long Quan asked with a smile. This time, I wonder if you are confident against the 3 stars of the Blue God realm against the City Lord's Mansion and Qinglei Palace. Lin Xiao and Qing Lingyun looked at each other. There was sarcasm on both of their faces at the same time. Elder Long, don't worry. We have been practicing since we were young. After reaching the 3-star level of Kengshen realm, we have never met anyone in the same realm who can defeat us. Lin Xiao looked arrogant. We won't let your 200,000 stones go to waste. After hearing this, the elders behind Long Quan were also secretly surprised. They are also considered to be relatively remarkable figures in the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. A mere 200,000 stones. To them, it was nothing at all, but they were able to recruit 2 such powerful Kengshen realm experts. It's definitely a great deal. If these 2 people can defeat the contestants from the City Lord's Palace and Qinglei Palace, not only Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, but also elders like Long Quan and others will greatly enhance their prestige in Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. Such a thing. They are still more willing to see it. Elder Long Quan is indeed far-sighted. I just saw it. Their strength is indeed at the 3-star level of the Blue God realm, and their aura is thicker than the ordinary 3-star level of the Blue God realm. They are quite powerful. If they are willing to go to war, they will definitely be able to capture this Purple Spirit Mine. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 949. So, for the competition in 3 days, we have to rely on these two little friends. Long Quan also said with a smile, if you two can defeat your opponent, I will still have a reward. After hearing this, Lin Xiao and Qing Lingyun also had surprises on their faces. Later, he took the initiative to resign. Seeing such a strong person willing to take action, the elders of Wanjin Chamber of Commerce were also very happy. However, when they looked at Long Quan, who still looked mysterious, they felt something. They all know it. Long Quan is a wily guy. It seems that bringing them here today is not just to introduce Lin Xiao and Qing Lingyun. It seems that there is another purpose. A white-haired old man with a rough face looked around and said to Long Quan, Elder Long, it seems you have other plans. After hearing this, only then did a smile appear on Long Quan's face. Good. Speaking of which, we have all been ministers of the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce for many years. Compared with us, who does Zhangfu Long mean? Why should such a young boy compete with us for the position of Wanjin Chamber of Commerce? These words of Long Quan, it definitely reached the hearts of all the elders. These old guys, they all know that Wanjin Chamber of Commerce is definitely a piece of fat now, and everyone wants to come and grab a piece of it. If they can get rid of Zhangfu Long, it is equivalent to taking control of the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. In the future, resources, Taoist stones, connections, and power can all come at will, right? Think of this. All the elders looked at Long Quan with warm eyes, wanting to hear what methods he had to deal with Zhangfu Long. Actually, Lin Xiao and Qing Lingyun just now can only be regarded as appetizers. Although they are very powerful, what I prepared for Zhangfu Long is a big meal. Long Quan said proudly, have you ever heard of this guy Gu Leng? I heard these two words. The expressions of all the elders changed instantly. Bone cold. This is the most famous Kangshen realm in Wanglong City. Although he is still only a 3-star player in the Blue God realm, he has fought against a 5-star player in the Blue God realm many times, and he never fell behind. Moreover, the techniques this person practiced were extremely vicious. It is said that it is a kind of Kung Fu and Taoist technique that specifically attacks the soul. As long as his attack falls on the opponent's soul will be eroded and attacked. Therefore, Gu Leng has always been known as the strongest person in Wanglong City under the 3 stars of Kangshen realm. However, this person was extremely unruly and bloodthirsty. And he never obeys any sex instructions. Even the city lord's mansion's solicitation for him was ignored by him. Did not expect. This time, Long Quan was successfully recruited, which really shocked all the elders. Elder Long. You mean, this Gu Leng is willing to help our Wanjin Chamber of Commerce in the battle? An elder said excitedly, if this is true, this purple spirit mine must belong to our Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. Yes, if we can win the purple chi spirit mine this time, Elder Long Quan should be the first to take the lead. Elder Long Quan's strategizing is really a blessing to our Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. If the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce is led by Elder Long Quan, it will definitely be the strongest force in Wanglong City in the future. All the elders were talking about it. Under these compliments, Long Quan felt very comfortable in his heart. A wave of his hand. Suddenly, a young man dressed in white and with a pale face walked out of the meeting hall. It's bone cold. As soon as he appeared, the temperature in the meeting hall seemed to drop a lot. This time, if I expect it is good. Zhangfu Long also plans to nominate someone to participate in the competition for the Purple Chi Spirit Mine. Perhaps this is a good opportunity to suppress him. Long Quan sneered and said, if Gu Leng can be made to take action and manipulate the people he recommends, what do you think the people in the Chamber of Commerce would do? Say it. All the elders understood his thoughts instantly. It turns out that the reason why Long Quan let Gu Leng appear in the finale was to suppress Zhang Fulong before the Purple Chi Spirit Mine. This is really a good idea to know. After all, Zhang Fulong is just a young man. Although he has the blood of a young master, he also has the support of his father Zhang Tishan. But so what? Without the support of these veterans, Zhang Fulong would still not be able to obtain sufficient status. Great idea. Great idea. Elder Long Quan is really clever, he even thought of all such things. As a result, that little brat Zhang Fulong will never be able to hold his head high in the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce in the future. Did not expect. He was cold to the core, still looking at everyone coldly, with an indifferent expression on his face, as if he didn't care about anything at all. What qualifications does he have to compete for the position of president of Wanjin Chamber of Commerce? Perhaps he is not considered a top expert in the entire Mingzhou domain. Don't worry, as long as you complete the task, our Wanjin Merchant Association will not treat you badly. All the elders looked at each other. Now, if you fight two people, you'll have to pay twice. All the elders cheered. Gu Leng nodded with satisfaction, as long as you have enough Dao stones, you can kill my parents. A character like Gu Leng is definitely a double-edged sword. Since he recruited it, he will naturally be in control in the end, and no one wants to touch such a hot potato. They really need to think carefully about how to deal with it. Good. On that note, as long as you defeat one competitor, I will give you a person's money. A ruthless character like Gu Leng. This was said plainly. Finally, he set his sights on Long Quan. When Gu Leng heard this, he nodded slowly, looked around, and closed his eyes to rest. In 3 days, there will be a battle for the Purple Chi Spirit Mine. Even Long Quan's face looked a little strange. You can still have such thoughts. If used properly, it can naturally cause great damage to the opponent, but on the contrary, if used incorrectly, it is very likely to backfire on oneself. It's like celebrating the new year. Tomorrow, I will ask Zhang Fulong to find the person he recommended. Little friend, you will take action when the time comes. There is no need to show mercy. But even these elders who had seen the wind and waves looked a little solemn on their faces. To this, Long Quan's face was gloomy. 3 stars in the Blue God realm. Long Quan feels a bit like riding a tiger with difficulty. When the time comes, the worse the people elected by Zhang Fulong are beaten, the more embarrassed he will be. By that time. But Gu Leng's mind is indeed unique. Most people definitely don't have such a sinister mind. Long Quan smiled slightly. Little friend Gu Leng, don't worry this time, the most important thing our Wanjin Chamber of Commerce lacks is money. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 950. Good. The bone-cold voice was cold, so, if I turn the opponent into a fool during the competition, it will be excusable. Hear this. Even the elders of the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce were a little surprised. They are also considered well-informed people, and among them, Elder Long Quan is also a 5-star expert in the Blue God realm. But even he, facing a young man like Gu Leng, he was also very surprised. The first move is to attack the soul. And he was so ruthless, which is something that is rare to see in ordinary cultivators. More importantly, when Gu Leng said this, he was calm and calm. It was as if he was saying something normal, which surprised all the elders. Good. Long Quan is well informed after all. Hearing Gu Leng's words, he was not too surprised. Instead, he smiled proactively and said, if you can kill the other party, I will double your commission. Double commission? 200,000 Dao stones instantly turned into 400,000. After hearing this, Gu Leng's eyes suddenly lit up. he was the one who took the initiative to listen to Long Quan's words for the sake of Taoshi. Did not expect. Kill your opponent and get a reward? This naturally made him excited. He had also inquired before that most of the people participating in the Purple Spirit Mine competition this time were below 3 stars in the Blue God realm. Such a practitioner. To him, there is basically no threat. As long as he wanted to, he could kill such an opponent casually. Since he could get 200,000 Dao stones for free, why wouldn't he do it? The next day, Zhang Fulong also came to the meeting hall with Xiao Xian. Inside the meeting hall, the battle for the Purple Spirit Mine is coming soon, and the atmosphere in the entire Wanjin Chamber of Commerce is much more tense than usual. For such a situation, Zhang Fulong had a solemn expression on his face. Glancing at the serious-faced elders around him, he knew that these old guys came to him today to target him. I've met the young master. Although Long Quan and other elders were unhappy with Zhang Fulong in their hearts, they still did a good job on the surface. But Zhang Fulong understood very well. I am afraid that at this moment, in the hearts of Long Quan and other elders, they all wish that he could inherit the position of president of Wanjin Chamber of Commerce earlier. For this, although he knew it, he couldn't show it on the surface. After all, these elders have all been in the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce for many years and can be considered veterans with meritorious service. At least on the surface, I still have to give him face. Elder Long was my father's loyal minister, and he has just taken charge of the Chamber of Commerce. If we can get Elder Long's help in this fight for the Purple Chi Spirit Mine, our Wanjin Chamber of Commerce will definitely win. Zhang Fulong said slowly with a smile on his face. Say it. Long Quan's face suddenly became a little ugly. He couldn't tell that Zhang Fulong's words actually meant a warning to him. He is said to be Zhang Tishan's humorous veteran. And saying it in front of so many people is not equivalent to telling him not to act rashly in the Chamber of Commerce. Do you want to do something rebellious? Long Quan people mature with age. After thinking for a moment, I immediately understood what Zhang Fulong meant. But on the surface, Long Quan still had a smile on his face. What the young master said is that when I was able to create the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce with the family leader, I naturally had to be loyal to the Chamber of Commerce. I have already selected 3 contestants for the Ziki Spirit Mine. Master. Saying that, Long Quan clapped his hands. Lin Xiaoqing, Ling Yun, and Gu Leng walked out. Saw these 3 people. The smile on Zhang Fulong's face disappeared a lot. Although his strength is not strong, his ability to see people and things is not weak at all. It can be seen at a glance that these 3 people are all 3 stars in the Blue God realm. And even 3 stars in the Blue God realm are not considered weak players. He also understood that this was a test for him. In front of so many disciples and elders, the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce is about to face the siege of the Ziki Spirit Mine by other sections. As a young master, Zhang Fulong should contribute. But the entire Chamber of Commerce knows it. Zhang Fulong is just an ordinary spiritual god, so it is a bit unrealistic for him to compete. But talk about it. If Zhang Fulong cannot even recommend a few people to the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, his authority will definitely be greatly weakened. From this perspective, Long Quan's operation is also a challenge to Zhang Fulong's status. Oh! Elder Long Quan has found 3 people. Zhang Fulong deliberately looked like he was belatedly thinking, Elder Long Quan's connections are really great, but, I have another candidate here, I don't know. Since the young master has someone to choose from, it is naturally better, so let's go with the person I selected, Long Quan said with a warm smile. Yes, Zhang Fulong nodded silently. Young master, Elder Long. I think this matter is a bit inappropriate. At this time, a gray-haired elder stood up and said, this time the Purple Chi spiritual mine is very important. I think the 3 disciples who competed should be the strongest people that our Wanjin Chamber of Commerce can select, and should not make up the numbers. Say it. The eyes of everyone present instantly focused on Zhang Fulong. Anyone with eyesight can hear it. This elder's intention was obviously to deliberately target Zhang Fulong and help Long Quan suppress his prestige. If it is normal, Zhang Fulong might even be able to reprimand him a few words. But now, what this elder said is to help Wanjin Chamber of Commerce for the good of Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. If Zhang Fulong makes rude remarks, on the contrary, it smells of public revenge. Therefore, he also had a tigerish face and it was a bit difficult to interrupt. That's quite simple. As long as we compete, it will be clear who is superior and who is inferior, right? Xiao Xian stood up and said, I don't know, who among the three is willing to come out and fight me? For a while, all eyes in the meeting hall were focused on Xiao Xian. But soon, the sounds of ridicule started. Long Quan and others found that the person who said this is actually just a one-star blue god realm. How dare a person of this level challenge the three contestants they carefully selected? Who is this? Long Quan was dissatisfied in his heart, but still asked on the surface, if I am right, this little friend should be a first star in the blue god realm, right? Young master, is he the person you selected to participate in the competition? Good. This Xiao Xian is my senior brother in King Hua Academy. He is very powerful. The arrow is on the string. After seeing Lin Xiao and the others, Zhang Fulong was helpless. At this moment, he could only grit his teeth and say, although his strength is only one star in the blue god realm, he is still a genius-level existence in our King Hua Academy. But, although he praised Xiao Xian highly, but anyone with a discerning eye can see that Long Quan and other elders have little trust in Xiao Xian. I don't think he is outstanding. At this point, Xiao Xian naturally understood, but he still looked indifferent. If any of the three of you is dissatisfied, feel free to stand up.